Good morning, El Paso. President Obama heading to Florida to meet with the survivors of the Orlando nightclub shooting. I'm Adrienne Bankert in New York. We'll have the latest on the stories of survival and the investigation next. Spurred to action by the horrific shooting, Democrats forced the Senate to address gun law reform with a 14-hour filibuster. New developments in the search for an airliner that crashed into the Mediterranean Sea last month.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC7's Good Morning El Paso.
Rise and shine, and a very good morning to you, El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez. I'm Stephanie Valle. Hillary Florin is off today. It is now 6 o'clock in the morning. I almost said it was 5:30. Nicole, take it away, because I obviously need to rest my brain a little bit here.
All right, I'll take it away. Temperatures right now nice and comfortable, and it'll be a nice start to your morning. At 7 o'clock as you head out, 75 degrees, 9 o'clock we're at 83, and 11 o'clock as you prepare for your afternoon and your lunch hour, 91 degrees. Make sure you stay hydrated today. We are in for another hot day. Right now, El Paso, we're at 75, 67 Las Cruces, 66 in TRC, 52 out in Silver City. So a little cooler in Silver City. Winds are not an issue. Calm here in El Paso, Las Cruces. Along the area mountains, TRC, current winds are at 6 miles per hour. Our clouds and radar picture, we are tracking those clear conditions. A nice start to the morning, but we are tracking the heat. Another hot day today, even hotter weekend. We'll talk about your weekend, what you can expect for Father's Day, coming up in just a minute.
All right. Thank you, Nicole. President Obama and Vice President Joe Biden traveled to Orlando today to meet with the survivors and the families killed in the massacre at the Pulse nightclub. ABC's Adrienne Bankert continues our complete coverage this morning.
Overnight, chilling stories from those who escaped the terror at the Pulse nightclub, some hiding out in the club bathrooms.
Maybe even 30 of us stayed in the stall, and we locked the stall, and there was like a couple of people that got locked out, and they were just begging for their lives, and he just killed them right there too.
Most survivors never saw Omar Mateen's face, but for the first time, the world is hearing the voice of the killer.
Good morning. Do you have a badge?
As a disgruntled security guard, unknowingly caught on camera in a documentary on the 2010 BP oil spill, investigators now linking him to 4 separate Facebook accounts and gay clubs and apps over the past decade. The FBI conducting a polygraph test on his wife, Noor Salman, who allegedly went with her husband to buy ammunition, telling officers she tried to talk him out of harming anyone. Today, the president and vice president visit Orlando. Last night, the VP comparing this tragedy to Sandy Hook.
It took so many innocent, beautiful little lives. And you would have thought several years later that on matters relating to rational gun safety, we would have made some progress by now.
As investigators in Congress look at how someone the government was warned of multiple times could slip through the cracks, the funerals have begun as the city unites.
This is my city. Nobody comes here and does something like that in this city and just gets away with it.
Now, just this morning, mass shootings taking center stage in the Senate. Democrats ending a 15-hour-long filibuster after Republican leaders agreed to vote on measures that would prevent anyone on a terror watch list from getting access to guns. Adrienne Bankert, ABC News, New York. New this morning, patrons of the Briar Patch Bar in downtown El Paso held a candlelight vigil in honor of the victims of the Orlando massacre. These pictures courtesy of Briar employee TJ. The Briar is a gay bar in El Paso's Pride District. Search crews in Egypt have located the wreckage of the Egypt Air flight that crashed into the Mediterranean Sea last month. Egypt officials aren't specifying where the pieces were located, but 66 people were on board when that plane went down May 19th on a flight from Paris to Cairo. 2 weeks ago, teams detected signals underwater from one of the plane's so-called black boxes. Investigators will study the plane's flight data and cockpit voice recorders once they're located and taken to Egypt. Senate Democrats ended a 14-plus-hour filibuster pushing for action on gun control early this morning. Senator Chris Murphy started the filibuster Wednesday morning, yielding after more than 14 hours and 50 minutes. The Senate adjourned just before 12:15 our time. It's now set to eventually vote on a bill to implement universal background checks and bar suspected terrorists from buying guns. The filibuster followed Sunday's massacre in Orlando. Gunman Omar Mateen purchased weapons used in the attack despite once being on a FBI terror watch list.
Make it stop. 3 words in bold print on the front page of this morning's Boston Globe captured the intensity of the gun control debate. The phrase punctuated by the oversized crimson type of the last word. Then they appear next to a life-size image of an AR-15. An AR-15 type assault-style rifle was the weapon of choice in the nightclub massacre. And there's also an image of the gun's bullet entry size. El Paso Congressman Beto O'Rourke is getting a national award from the Vietnam Veterans of America. A National Achievement Award will be given to O'Rourke Wednesday, June 29th. The VVA national president will be flying in from D.C. to give the award. According to the organization, O'Rourke is getting the award for his continued support of the Vietnam vets and all vets in general. ABC 7 is learning more about the shooting that left 1 person hospitalized. It happened yesterday morning at the Budget Motel in central El Paso. That's on Paso. Now, police are telling ABC 7 the man taken to UMC with serious injuries was 28 years old, and he hasn't been identified. But authorities are also telling us that the victim got into a fight with a group of men. No arrests have been made. Also in central El Paso, a woman has been arrested in connection with a homicide. A neighbor found the beaten man's body inside his own apartment on the 1000 block of East Missouri. Police say 56-year-old Eugenia Durden knew the victim. A news release says that Durden was charged in the murder case, but doesn't specifically say what the charge is. But jail records show she is being charged with murder. Investigators suspect the cause of death is blunt force trauma to the head. And we are coming up on 6:07 now. Time for weather and traffic on the 7s with Nicole and Mauricio. Nicole Gomez is starting us off.
Good morning, Stephanie. Your bus stop forecast, El Paso, temperatures ranging between 69 to 75 degrees. Winds not a problem in El Paso or Las Cruces, where your temperatures are a little cooler, 60 to 64 degrees for some locations. And as you head out this morning, be sure to download the ABC 7 weather app. You're going to want to track the weather for the next few days because we are in for very hot temperatures inching closer to the weekend. So again, download the ABC 7 weather app. It is available for all smartphones. Mauricio.
Well, Nicole, traffic continues to look good across the map as we take a look at our ABC 7 traffic flows. Over here in Trans Mountain, if you're heading out the door and using this to get by, things looking really good. Smooth sailing over there. We're starting to see a little bit of traffic, though, on the east side. You can see Montwood getting clogged up just a bit near Loop 375. If we take a look at our current speed heading east, 17 miles per hour. Now, typically in that area, we're looking at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. So give yourself a little bit of time if you're heading out for the morning rush. And lastly, I'll leave you with a look at Central El Paso, I-10 at Porfirio Diaz. Things looking really good right now. And coming up in 10 minutes, I've got Las Cruces.
All right, thank you, Mauricio. Much more to come here on Good Morning El Paso. Dry conditions and strong winds are fueling wildfires along the west coast. We'll take a look at the damage. And later, parents who don't pay child support in Texas may have to give up a privilege they use daily. It's 6:08, and this is ABC 7, where news comes first.